Hiya, it's Kerry from Mobilates. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're keeping yourself nice and warm. You've enjoyed maybe a bit more sun this week, some bigger, brighter skies. It makes such a difference to get out there and be able to see a bit of sunlight and not have it grey all the time. Right, shall we get started? We can do this class in so many different positions. Maybe let me know what you like the best. Do you like seated? Do you like to stand if you can? Do you like the lying down section, maybe on a bed or on a mat? And remember, let's give you seated options all the way through. I try and mix it up as much as I can in 30 minutes. We're going to start by sort of making a square shape as we walk our feet. So if I'm doing this standing, I've got this foot going forward, the other one, then back, back, forward, forward, back, back. So that's the pattern. And if you're seated, forward, forward, back, back, forward, forward, back, back. Now the arms could go here. But I'm going to mix it up even more at the moment. And then in a moment, I'm going to swap the leading foot. So the other foot, forward, forward, back, forward, forward, back, back. You can make this slow. You can make it fast, forward, forward, but if you like going faster, so you've got to go into what works for you. I'm somewhere in between. I'm going a bit slower. I've got another class to do after this. But we're just getting into a slight sideways pattern, lateral steps, mixes our brain up a little bit. We're going to stop. And then just take a moment, feet are pointing forward, comfortable distance between your feet. And just take a moment to feel what that was like. And then we're going to just pat gently on the body. Now you can do this with the flat of your hand. You can do it with your fingertips if that feels better, or your knuckles. You're not trying to leave a massive impression from your hands. It's just light. Tingles, waking up. And don't forget the inside bits of the body, the bits we perhaps don't normally go to. We tend to go a lot to the easier to reach bits. But can you get maybe a little under the armpits to the inside? Oh, that bit feels a little funny. So we get to these bits, but maybe not to these bits so much. So, this side is much harder to do. This arm just doesn't want to do it. Who knew? That way, yes, this way, much slower. Bit of information that what I wasn't expecting, but I'll take it. This side faster. This side much slower. Good to practice. Right, now, give everything a little shimmy, a little shake out and a wiggle. And then we're going to grow tall. So grow tall standing, grow tall sitting. And now from here, we're going to go into pelvic tilts. So just grow tall first and check in with your ribs. Do they feel forwards? Are they pulled back and you feel like you're bending over? You want somewhere in between when it feels like your body is upright that isn't a bit pushing forwards or pulling back. Sometimes you need to tense a little here or pull backwards a little here. Sometimes you need to push forwards a bit here. It depends on your body. Finding that place right now. You can place your hands right on your knees if you're seated. Take a breath in. And as you pull the belly back like it's pulling away from something cold, like a block of ice, pull that back and sort of up towards you. Your lumbar moves, your low part of your spine, and then it rocks forwards. You can just see my belly and top move here. Now, if I do it in standing, I'm going to have my hands on my thighs. Take that breath in. I'm aiming my breath all around these ribs. So they go outwards rather than my shoulders going up. And then as I breathe out, I'm sort of scrunching my belly back as if it's against something cold. As I breathe in, it goes forwards. As I breathe out, I pull it back. And this is a section of spine that we're trying to move, the lumbar. And then give everything a little wiggle. Ease off. And we're going to tap the back of our head. Just this sort of center point at the back. Get some tingle, a little sensation. And then we're going to tilt. And you can close your eyes. It's like you're trying to draw an arc shape with the back of your head with that tingle. Imagine I've just put some paint on it and it's just drawing that shape. Come back to the center. Look ahead for a moment, maybe away from the screen, just over the top, somewhere into the distance. And then let your head turn one way and the other. And we're not trying to force this, trying to make it as easy as you can. So it might be smaller, it might be slower. Come back to the center, starting to move your shoulders in that little arc, just feeling what it's like. Your arms are quite close to your body. If it feels okay, now make it bigger, make it more like a circle. Backwards and forwards is good. If it isn't feeling very happy, keep your arms close to you. You could go one side and then the other. You can even support an arm if one side is painful or strained. So giving a little support to the side. So I'm supporting my right arm here, just taking the weight out of it a little bit. And that would be what you do for a really sore or irritated shoulder. That's it. Letting your arms drop down by your sides if it feels okay. You could even add weights here if you like something heavy. And by weights, it could be a couple of cans of beans or a couple of little bottles of water. Oh, who's here today? Jean and Jackie. Nice to have you with us, ladies. I hope all is well with you. Right, now, let's go for a little shrug of the shoulders. Just a little up and down. And now we're going to go to the feet. Now, warming the feet up. Little rub on the floor. I'm going to be doing a lot of this in the next few weeks because as it gets a little chillier, it's harder to feel the feet. I've got my grippy toe socks on, so that helps. You can hear my mat there. It just brings my attention to the sensations in my feet. Right, now I'm spreading my legs a little bit wider. Toes are forwards. Now lift your toes up and down. You can just about see mine. Oh, there we go. Come up and down. And if you really struggle with that, sticking a towel just underneath where the toes go down, and so underneath your big toe and the other toes, just to give it a little ledge almost. That can help. Sometimes it's just the big toe and just putting that towel just under the big toe can help. Right, now I want you to grow tall. A little bit of tension to the belly. So just pulling back, not a huge amount, just like something's cold and you're like, oh, I'm just going to pull back away from that. Now I want you to rock forwards and then back. Now you can definitely touch something to the side. You can definitely take your arms out to the side. If you're seated, you're a little bit more forwards on your chair. So you're towards the front edge of your seat. Place your hands on your chest. And then you're just rocking. It's like a slightly sinister rocking chair. That's it. Now this is all about core control. So I'm not really pushing into my feet with this one particularly. I'm letting my core take all the movement. Change some direction. So I'm going sort of diagonally now. But you could also go diagonally the other way. Or you could go in a circle or an arc. That's it. You could do this touching the chair. Or even in a corner when you've got walls sort of either side of you, if you're feeling unsteady, even facing into the corner is really nice because there's nowhere for you to go apart from into that corner. That's it. And then back to the center. Right, next, we're going to lift our heels up. So we've warmed the feet up a little, challenged our balance, toes down, heels up, arms, wherever it helps you. But again, a bit of tension here, like you're pulling your belly back and up a little. That's it. And then if you're standing, a little knee bend and then a push up. If you're seated, heels up and then push down into your feet like you're just about to take your head and body upwards. You can see I get this little, we're not leaning forwards so much, just straight upwards. You can lean forwards a bit if you like, but you don't have to. So just like that, or like this, and then lift up the heels, and you're alternating. And just watching the knees stay the same distance apart. That's it. And then we're going to take the arms forwards and hinge the bottom back if you're standing. If you're seated, arms on your chest, and you're going to rock forwards and then pull back using your core control. You can push into your feet as well, but that will give you more sort of force, and it can be your belly can be this force. So you can let your feet be quite relaxed here, and this tension all around your core here is helping power you. If you want to, you can take your arms a little forwards. The further forwards they go, the heavier it is and the more work it is for your core. So see what feels right for you. If you're standing, I hope you're still going. So we can do this more like a hip hinge. When the knees don't really bend, it's more the bottom going back. Or you can send your knees forwards and your bottom back. So we're going a little lower. I tend to bring my hands together for that one, but they can be apart. That's it. And then shake it out. Well done. Place the hands together. And just starting to get some little rolls. I'm doing a little infinity sort of shape. Take your legs a bit wider. And then let the arms start to move. The rest of the elbows and the arms are pushing the hands around now. And you can see the sides of your body are getting involved, and my feet are getting a little involved. That's it. Making it a bit bigger. And then letting go. Let the arms just swing where they want to. Now, if you're standing, starting to let the arms go around you and letting your feet turn your body. If you're sitting, slide your hands up and down your legs. And once you've got that rotation going on your ribs and waist, then start to swish your arms. You won't want to fling your arms in quite the same way if you're sitting, because they're going to hit the chair, and that's not very pleasant. That's it. Lovely. And then we're going to go into a little balance. So let's take weight into one leg, and we're just going to take this foot off the floor a little bit. So it doesn't look like I've lifted it, but my back heel's just lifted and this leg's bent. So that might be enough. You can hold on to something. You can bring that leg higher if you want to. You could even resist it a little bit if you want to. Just check your hips aren't going all over, sort of up and down. We want them sort of in the same place. So you can see my top, when I go up, goes a bit wonky, and up here, when it comes down, it's keeping it level. If you're seated, your leg's already bent. So take it closer to the other leg and maybe go on your toe or the ball of your foot. Perhaps bring your arms in, that makes it a bit more challenging. And then let it slide away and have a wiggle. It gets a bit tense in the thigh. We're going to do the other side. So this side, I'm going on the tip of my toe. I'm sneaking my legs close and pressing them in. I'm going to grow tall and put my hands on my chest. Standing, I'm going to take my time, get my hips level. I'm lifting this leg. It's going there. I'm going to put my hand on it and just hold it there. I'm not really pushing down. I'm just sort of pressing lightly, but not just lightly pressing and keeping my balance. I might move this arm just to challenge my body a little more. And take it down. Ooh, well done. Give everything a little shake out. And we're going to go into a roll down. So I'm going to give you a spine safe roll down if you've got any issues like osteopenia or osteoporosis. So you don't want to go with your spine rounded because it's a lot of heavy weight going through your spine. So instead, Go into that hip hinge shape when you take your bum back. Keep your back straight, hands on your thighs. Now do a pelvic tilt. So your belly is coming towards you, the bottom is tipping down, and then walk your hands up. Your legs, you can stand here, have a little shoulder roll, nice and straight. Here's the seated version. So I come forwards a little, straight back. Now I'm going to do that pelvic tilt, and then I'm going to walk my hands back, have a roll. If your spine is happy with that forward bend, we can take our arms out to the sides, bring them down the center and open them outwards. And then just a little bow of the head, chin comes towards your collarbone, and it's like you're rolling your head down an imaginary center line. Soften your knees as much as you need to. So mine go a little. I've got quite a lot of flexibility bending over here, but you might need a lot. So if you need a lot, give it a lot. The weight is slightly forwards, more onto the front of your feet. And then just see where you want to go today. Somewhere where you can hold it. If I completely let go, I can go woof and flop down. But it's not really challenging anything here. It's just me flopping. So I've got the tension in this part of my spine. It's almost like I'm scooping underneath. And when you're ready to come up, take a breath in that's going into this rounded back. And as you breathe out, pull your belly back towards you. And that's it. Straighten yourself up. Oh, just give it a little roll when you get there. Let's go down to the floor if you're comfortable going down to the floor, or down to a bed. Or even if you've got a really big sofa, pull the duvet back. I'm going to demonstrate on my sofa here, my sofa bed, as well as the mat. You might want a cushion underneath your head. Take your time. Never rush when you're changing positions. Right. Today's cushion. And then, as always, once you get to your lying down position, if you are lying down today, legs bent, just have a little wriggle into your new position. If you're seated, have a wriggle of your bum, feel where your sit bones are, that's the bumpy bones of your bottom. Check that your feet are forwards and your legs are 2 fists apart. And then we're going to go into pelvic tilts. So just like we did at the beginning, it's just a change of position for some of us. So take a breath in, feel your ribs expand, and if you're lying down, you might feel them pressing into your mat and expanding on your mat. And then as you breathe out, pull your belly towards you, pubic bone towards you. And then as you breathe in, let it rock away. Now I've got my hands down here. Sometimes it's nice to make this sort of diamondy triangle shape. I suppose it's a diamond if my thumbs go up higher. I'm overthinking it. That's it. Last one. And then we're going to take our arms down by our sides. Now, if you're on a chair, I want you to be in the front third of your chair seat. We're going to slide a leg away and take the opposite arm back and close to your head and ear. And then take that back to where it was. And then the other way, slide a leg away, slide an arm away. So you've got the movement. I'll change to seated in a moment. I want you to do it with the breath now. So when you've got your arms down by your sides, take a breath in. And as you breathe out, take your arms and leg away from you. We're going for a long leg here, as long as you can get. And your arm as far back as it can go. Mine is not touching the floor. There's a bit of a gap at the moment. It might touch the floor in time if I was doing this seated. Just the same, but we're in a different starting position. You can also lean back slightly against your chair back, and that could be touching or floating, and your leg could be floating too. It depends what feels nice for your back. That's it. more of those. And then, if you're lying down, slide the pillow away. I'd like you to take your legs wider, knees over your ankles, feet quite close to your bottom if you're lying down. If you're seated, your legs are wider, but you don't need to bring your feet any closer. And if you're seated, you might want to bring your arms sort of somewhere around your belly. We'll start with a pelvic tilt, but the legs are in a different position. You can see my feet are much closer. So that just changes the angle of the tilt. I'm just moving my feet to make it more comfortable for me. And then if you're seated, I want you to stick with that. And if you're on the mat, I want you to start bringing it up into a bridge. So as soon as you've got that tilt, push into your feet, raise your hips up. You can see I'm not coming very high. It feels quite different like this. So I'm just giving my body a bit of time to get used to it. That's it. And your head, you want it to feel comfortable. So if it feels like it's straining and it's pushing your body up and down, less. So maybe just like that, just a lower bridge. And then bring your legs in back to the starting point. Maybe give them a little sway side to side. Knees going each way. And I'd like you to do a pelvic tilt or a bridge there. So it's in your more standard position. I'm just giving my toes a little wriggle whilst I'm there. And one more like that. Pelvic tilt if you're seated, a bridge if you're lying down. Could also be a pelvic tilt lying down. And now one more different position. Could you turn your toes outwards and your heels kissing together so they're in a V shape? Your knees will be outwards a little. Try a pelvic tilt in this shape first. Now we don't want the legs to bow outwards. We want the feet to stay in contact with the floor and the heels to press against each other. If you're comfortable too and you're lying down, you can take this higher into a bridge. If you're seated, I want you to stay on the pelvic tilt. That's it. And then bring it down. Take your legs slightly wider and your arms out to the side, or if you're seated, this sort of will go either side of your legs, and just let your knees have a little sway one side to the other. Maybe your head would like to turn the opposite direction. And then if you're lying down, bring your legs together and roll onto your side if you're comfortable to. If you're not, come to seated instead. So whilst you're rolling onto your side, the seated, still on the front of your chair, I would like you to work one leg at a time. So push both feet down first, legs are straight ahead and at 90 degrees. And we're going to take one foot out to the side, slide it away, bring it back, bring it back. It was two bring it backs, wasn't it? One foot out to the side, slide it away, return, and then bring it back to the starting point. Stick with the same leg because we'll swap to the other side in a minute. If you're lying down on your side, I'd like you to get your legs long. And I'm going to line myself up with the back of the mat. So that's my head and back, and the back of my bottom. But my legs are slightly forwards. I'm in this slightly piked position. So I'm straight here and I'm straight in my legs, but it's not all one line. These legs are a little bit forwards. Push the bottom leg down. Top leg is going to come up. First, flex your feet towards you a little bit, so toes towards you. We're going to lift the leg up and take it down. Up. See, I'm not going super high. I could take it all the way up there, but I'm not interested in that going so high. I'm trying to go about hip level, maybe slightly higher than that. It may be less. But you don't have to, because when we go up like that, everything sort of squishes in here, and I want to keep this long. And you'll feel the full weight of your leg. That's it. Hope you're still going if you're seated. And then let that leg bend, give it a rub. If you're seated, give that leg a bit of massage. And then if you're seated, I want you to just squeeze both legs together. If you are not standing, lying down, I want you to squeeze both legs together and lift them a little and take them down. And lift them and take them down. There's no lifting. If you're sitting, you're just squeezing and then ease off and release. Squeeze, ease off and release. Squeeze and lift. Maybe they go a little bit higher. So you might have just hovering. Hold it there. Or toes coming in a bit more. And then take it down, bend both legs and give them a little rub. And then we're going to do the other side. So you might roll away from me, or I'm going to move completely round the other way. So whilst you're getting yourself in that position, if you're seated, you're going to be taken out to the side, sliding away, coming back. And then you're going to end up with a squeeze together, release. Squeeze together and release. And if it gets a bit much, take the legs wider and give them a little sway side to side. If you are on your side, get yourself comfy. Always like a cushion for my neck support if I'm on my side. Right, I'm lining up with the back of my mat. My legs straighten and go slightly ahead. Press the bottom leg downwards. Press the two legs together, and you see the toes are coming up towards me. Right, press that bottom leg down as you lift that top leg up. So you're really giving a little push down into the floor with this leg, and a little push, like you're trying to push something away, like something heavy has come onto your leg. You're like, no, I'm going to lift you away. That's it. And one more. And then you may want to just ease off and bend your legs and give them a little rub. And then we're going to finish this one with the legs forwards, just like before. But instead of pushing down to the mat, they're pushing into each other. You can have your hand to support you. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, lift your legs. Just hover them. And then take them down and lift them up. So they're hardly moving at all, but you can feel it's quite a lot of effort. You're squeezing them together if you're seated. Last one, and hold it there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you're done. Oh, give them a rub. And then we're going to take it to seated for everybody. So seated in a chair on that front third, or seated on your mat or bed. I'm going to be seated on a cushion. And I want your legs into your feet close to each other. They can be far away or really quite close. And let your knees go out and in. You can help them. Or you could take your arms behind you so you can straighten your spine a little, push away from your floor or your sofa or your bed. That's it. Just easing those legs. And then lengthen your legs away. You can see my feet look bigger, they're closer to the camera. And just give them a wave side to side. And then make that wave bigger and make it more like a circle. That's it. And if you struggle with a circle, just make it whatever shape you can get. You might get like little bits of a circle, or a side to side, or a forwards and back. Very nice. And then bring your legs in to somewhere that's comfortable for you. So I'm going into like a cross-legged position. We're going to push your hands across and across your chest. So a little stop sign, like you're pushing something away. No, I don't want that now. I want to chill out. I don't want any phone calls or people knocking at the door. I was like, no, I'm having some quiet time. And then push both hands forwards. Pull your belly back. Let your head bow a little and feel your shoulder blades spread. Breathe into the space with your back. Puff it up. And then as you breathe out, let your arms come down, have a little wiggle. Take your palms out to the sides, scoop up the air, bring your hands to touch and into your chest. Oh my goodness, I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what you like best. Do you like the standing? Do you like sitting? Do you like lying down? Or a favourite move that really worked for you? Or do you just like getting moving, getting everything, having a little move, easing out those creaky bits or bits, making them all a little more oiled. Hope you have a good week. I'll see you again next Wednesday. Bye-bye.